It's impossible to deny the magnetic charm of a French Bulldog. With their comically large bat ears, soulful, oversized eyes, and compact muscular bodies, they radiate a unique personality that has captivated the world. Their meteoric rise in popularity, culminating in their coronation as the American Kennel Club's #1 most popular breed, is a testament to their appeal. They are playful, affectionate, and perfectly suited for the social media age, an era that prizes distinctive looks. This breed is, in every sense, a man-made marvel, meticulously crafted over a century from their origins as Parisian ratter dogs into the ultimate urban companion. But this carefully sculpted perfection is a devastating illusion. The very features we find so endearing, the flat face, the screw tail, the stocky build, are not cute quirks, but the clinical symptoms of genetic deformity. They are the hallmarks of a tragedy written in DNA, a blueprint for a life of inherent and often invisible suffering. For a French Bulldog, the simple, reflexive act of breathing is a conscious and constant effort. This is the cruel reality of their anatomy, a condition known as brachycephaly, which means short head. Their severely shortened skull creates a cascade of internal obstructions, collectively known as brachycephalic obstructive airway syndrome, BOAS, a condition present in the majority of the breed. The obstructions are numerous and severe. Stenotic nares. Their nostrils are often so narrow they collapse inward with each breath, forcing the dog to gasp for air through its mouth. Elongated and thickened soft palate. The fleshy tissue at the back of the throat is too long for their compressed skull. It dangles into the airway, creating turbulence and the characteristic snorting and snoring sounds. With every breath, this tissue becomes more inflamed and swollen, worsening the obstruction. Hypoplastic trachea. Their windpipe is often congenitally narrow, restricting the flow of air to the lungs. Laryngeal collapse. In many dogs, this chronic strain eventually leads to the cartilage of the larynx, the voice box, weakening and collapsing, causing a catastrophic end-stage airway obstruction. Imagine spending your entire life breathing through a swollen, pinched straw while feeling a constant sense of suffocation. The pressure changes this creates in their chest can also lead to chronic regurgitation and gagging. This is the daily experience for a vast number of these dogs, a fight for oxygen that puts immense, unrelenting strain on their heart and organs. The French Bulldog's signature cobby frame and corkscrew tail are celebrated in the show ring, but they are the visible markers of profound skeletal deformities that cause lifelong pain and disability. The breed is plagued by spinal problems, most notably hemivertebrae. This genetic defect means their vertebrae fail to form correctly, developing into a wedge or butterfly shape. The desired screw tail is, in fact, a spinal deformity, a chain of malformed vertebrae. This creates kinks and curves in the spine, leading to instability, pressure on the spinal cord, chronic pain, a wobbly gait, ataxia, and, in the worst cases, incontinence and complete paralysis. This spinal instability makes them prime candidates for intervertebral disc disease, where the cushioning discs between the vertebrae rupture or bulge, compressing the spinal cord and causing excruciating pain and neurological damage. Furthermore, debilitating joint conditions like hip dysplasia and patellar luxation, dislocating kneecaps, are rampant. Their joints, forced to support a front-heavy, unnaturally compact body, wear down quickly, leading to premature arthritis and a lifetime of managed pain. The deep, endearing wrinkles on a Frenchie's face are a perfect breeding ground for bacteria and yeast. Trapped moisture and debris lead to chronic and painful skin-fold dermatitis, requiring a rigorous daily cleaning routine from owners to prevent raging infections. Beyond their folds, they are genetically predisposed to atopic dermatitis, a hypersensitivity to environmental allergens like pollen and dust mites, as well as severe food allergies. This results in relentless itching, secondary staph and yeast infections, and a cycle of discomfort that often requires lifelong medication. Their large, bulging eyes are another source of constant trouble. Because their skull is too flat, their eye sockets are too shallow to properly house and protect the eyeball. This leads to a condition called lagophthalmos, where they are unable to close their eyelids completely, even while sleeping. This constant exposure dries out the cornea, making them highly susceptible to painful corneal ulcers. They also commonly suffer from cherry eye, a prolapsed tear gland, and entropion, a painful condition where the eyelid rolls inward, causing the eyelashes to constantly scratch the surface of the eye. Inside every French Bulldog is the soul of a playful, energetic dog, but their body is a prison that prevents them from expressing it. Their profound physical limitations are a direct result of their anatomy. A dog's primary cooling mechanism is panting, an act of rapid, shallow breathing that evaporates moisture from the tongue and respiratory tract. For a Frenchie, this process is dangerously inefficient. Their tight nostrils and obstructed airway mean they can't move enough air to cool down effectively. This creates a terrifying vicious cycle during exercise or excitement. Their body temperature rises, they try to pant harder, but the increased effort causes their already swollen airway tissues to become more inflamed, further blocking the flow of air. This leads to panic, even greater respiratory distress, and potential collapse. They are not lazy, they are physically incapable of sustained activity, forced to choose between the joy of play and the ability to breathe. Placing a French Bulldog in a pool or lake is a life-threatening emergency. They are notoriously poor swimmers for a simple, tragic reason. Their physical structure is anathema to buoyancy. Their disproportionately large, heavy head and dense, front-loaded muscle mass act like an anchor, pulling them face down into the water. Compounding this, their short legs lack the power and reach to tread water effectively and keep their obstructed airway clear. A Frenchie can sink and drown in mere seconds. Even with a life vest, the risk remains high. Water can easily enter their short snout, leading to panic and aspiration. They are a breed built to sink, and no owner should ever assume otherwise. The breed has been so drastically altered by human selection that it can no longer participate in one of nature's most fundamental processes, natural birth. Due to a condition called dystocia, the female's pelvis is too narrow and the puppy's heads and shoulders are too broad to pass through the birth canal. As a result, an estimated over 80% of all French Bulldog litters are delivered via cesarean section. This isn't an occasional emergency procedure, it's a routine, scheduled necessity for the breed's survival. This reliance on major surgery not only exposes the mother to significant risks, especially with the heightened dangers of anesthesia in brachycephalic breeds, but it also serves as the ultimate indictment of how far the breed has been pushed beyond the boundaries of natural biology. Artificial insemination is also standard, a clinical solution to the male's physical inability to mate naturally. Compounding their staggering list of health problems is their unusually stoic nature and high tolerance for pain. A holdover from their tough terrier ancestry, this trait is now a dangerous liability. French Bulldogs will often suffer in silence, masking the severity of their discomfort. A subtle limp may be the only sign of agonizing hip dysplasia. A slight reluctance to jump could signal a ruptured disc in their spine. They might ignore the deep, throbbing pain of an ear infection until a large, blood-filled hematoma forms on their ear flap. This stoicism means that by the time an owner finally recognizes that something is critically wrong, the underlying condition is often dangerously advanced, making treatment more invasive, less successful, and far more costly. The high purchase price of a French Bulldog is merely the entry fee. The true cost of owning this fragile breed unfolds over a lifetime of staggering veterinary bills. Owners must be prepared to budget for a litany of expensive treatments as a near certainty, not a possibility. Airway surgery, BOAS. A procedure to widen nostrils and trim the soft palate can cost thousands of dollars and is often considered essential for the dog to achieve a baseline level of comfort. Spinal surgery, IVDD. Emergency surgery for a ruptured disc can easily exceed $10,000. Allergy management. This includes expensive immunotherapy injections, lifelong prescription medications, and costly hypoallergenic diets. Orthopedic and neurological care. The cost of managing arthritis, hip dysplasia, and neurological deficits involves pricey medications, physical therapy, and mobility aids. Ophthalmology. Eye medications and potential surgeries for ulcers or entropion add to the mounting bills. Reflecting their poor health, pet insurance for French Bulldogs is among the most expensive for any breed, and many policies contain exclusions for the very breed-specific conditions that are almost guaranteed to occur. For a French Bulldog, a warm, sunny day is a mortal enemy. Their inability to pant effectively means they have virtually no defense against rising temperatures. Their body's core temperature can skyrocket to fatal levels with alarming speed. Heatstroke can occur in temperatures as mild as 24 degrees Celsius, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and can be triggered by something as simple as a short walk on a warm pavement, a few minutes of excited play, or being in a stuffy, non-air-conditioned room. The warning signs: excessive drooling, frantic panting, bright red gums, vomiting, and collapse can appear suddenly and signal an immediate medical emergency. A situation that would be mildly uncomfortable for another dog can be a death sentence for a Frenchie. The French Bulldog is the tragic embodiment of conformational disorders, diseases that are a direct result of the dog's physical shape as dictated by breed standards. Its own body is its greatest enemy. Its immune system is often in a state of hyperreactivity, launching painful inflammatory assaults on its own skin. Its compromised skeleton crumbles under the weight it was designed to carry. Its respiratory system cannot supply the oxygen its vital organs demand. It is a living paradox, a beautiful machine with fundamentally incompatible parts, a powerful engine in a chassis that cannot support it, with a cooling system doomed to fail. Every desirable feature introduces another element of pain and dysfunction, ensuring the dog lives in a body that is in a constant state of war with itself. The heartbreaking culmination of this symphony of suffering is a tragically shortened life. While a healthy small dog might live for 13-15 years, a landmark 2022 study by the UK's Royal Veterinary College revealed the median lifespan for a French Bulldog is a shocking 4.5 years. They have the shortest life expectancy of any common dog breed. This statistic doesn't just represent fewer years, it represents a life where quality is severely compromised. It's a life punctuated by more vet visits, more surgical procedures, more daily medications, and more physical limitations than the average dog will ever know. The ultimate price for their adorable appearance is paid not by the people who love them, but by the dogs themselves, with years of healthy, comfortable life they will never get to experience. This health crisis was not a random accident of nature. It was engineered by human design, codified in official breed standards. These documents, upheld by kennel clubs, explicitly demand the very features that guarantee a life of suffering. The AKC standard calls for a skull that is large and square, a nose that is extremely short, and a body that is compact and cobby, a checklist for BOAS and spinal disease. It crazes a heavy, thick, well-arched neck, which further constricts the airway. Healthier, more moderate traits, like a slightly longer muzzle, open nostrils, or a less compact body, would be penalized in the show ring. These standards actively create a framework where the sickest, most extreme dogs are considered the most correct, trapping the breed in an inescapable cycle of suffering. The French Bulldog's overwhelming popularity has fueled a ruthless, profit-driven breeding industry. At the low end, puppy mills and backyard breeders churn out puppies with no concern for health, genetics, or welfare. But the crisis extends to the top. The demand for rare and exotic fat colors like merle, lilac, and blue, colors not naturally found in the breed's gene pool and often linked to additional health issues like deafness and blindness, is a glaring sign of unethical, profit-motivated breeding. This raises a profound ethical question. Can one ever be a responsible breeder of an animal that is knowingly and intentionally designed for a life with such profound health compromises? When a breed cannot breathe, give birth, or move without pain, the act of creating more of them becomes ethically indefensible. The French Bulldog is a testament to the deep bond humans can have with dogs. Their personalities are truly special. But our affection must not blind us to the profound suffering inherent in their design. The current state of the breed is a moral failing, a stark example of our willingness to prioritize a fleeting aesthetic over an animal's fundamental right to a healthy existence. As consumers, we hold the power to end this cycle. We must stop creating demand for dogs with extreme features that cause suffering. We can become advocates for change, demanding that kennel clubs rewrite breed standards to prioritize health over appearance. We can choose to adopt from rescues, or if purchasing a dog, select a breed that is not defined by its disabilities. The time has come to ask ourselves a difficult question. Does our love for a breed justify the suffering of the individual dogs within it? True love demands we choose compassion over cuteness, ensuring our desire for companionship no longer costs them their very breath.